Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Shopify helps businesses break sales records over the holidays with the world's best converting checkout. Let's hear that one more time. The world's best converting checkout. Shopify's legendary checkout makes it easier for customers to shop on your website, across social media, and everywhere in between. Now that's music to your ears. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify. Start your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/records.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jess.
Happy New Year. We have returned. It's 2024. Hope you all had a good whatever the fuck you celebrate. Yeah, that's what we have to say now. Whatever you did over the last week of
Happy, merry, whatever you pose or celebrate.
Yeah, whatever you did, whatever deity you did it to, I hope you enjoyed it. There, is that good enough?
That you have still pissed off at least 3 Karen.
Whatever you did and whatever deity you did it to almost sounds kind of dirty. So yeah, dude,
that's right.
It's kind of that South Park Jesus plus one or whatever when Cartman does the Christian band.
Faith plus one.
Faith plus one. It's like, oh, you really love Jesus.
So
well, this is a podcast aimed at Gen Xers, so they got it, even though our token millennial didn't.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, we took the holiday week off. I mean, not much really going on in the news cycle, and all the newsmakers chill the fuck out. I think there really wasn't anything crazy that happened over the last week. What did happen today, like an hour ago as we're recording this, is the Jeffrey Epstein list came out, or at least one of them did, I guess.
So what?
Jess, you seem pretty pumped about this.
So. Yeah. So what came out was not a list. We're gonna have to actually wait a little bit longer to wait for the really dedicated people to put together a list for us, because it's not just like a list that came out. It was the names that were being unredacted. They were being dacted. I don't know what the word is, but the names that were redacted were released off of this like 700-page document. And in this document, it's going to have co-conspirators with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It's going to have victims. It's going to have their names on there. It's going to have some flight log people's names on there. It's just on this document, you had some 170-ish names that had been redacted, and they were all known as Doe 1, Doe 2, or Doe 172.
But what is this list of what? I mean, they're redacted, but from what? What are these? The flight logs? Like what?
It's from a whole document that was presented in court with Ghislaine Maxwell. So it was a document that we've had that was public knowledge, but the names had been redacted from it. So, like I said, it's not the whole flight log. It's not all of his co-conspirators. It's not all of his victims. It's just this one big document that was used against her. And now the names have been plugged into place on here in place of the Doe. So if you give it some time, I'm sure the TikTok lawyers are hard at work with their team right now, going through and looking and, plugging in, okay, this was a victim, this was a co-conspirator, this was the flight list, this was whatever. But they didn't just release like a condensed list for us. That would be far too easy.
Gotcha. Well, names I at least recognize in here: Alan Dershowitz, Prince Andrew, obviously Ghislaine or Ghislaine or whatever the hell you're supposed to call her, Epstein, and I read one story. David Copperfield's on here, but I don't see his name. I'm guessing maybe his real name is on there. I'm guessing David Copperfield's not on his driver's license. Let's check. Let me.
It has Bill Clinton, Doug Band, Prince Andrew, Glenn Dubin, Jean-Luc Brunel.
Is David Seth Kotkin on there?
I don't know.
Because that would be David Copperfield. Kotkin.
Let's see. You know what? I don't know why I'm Googling this. I would be so much better off.
Okay, see, I called this fucking years ago with this shit, with this list and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's going to come out and there'll be a few sacrificial lambs. Most of those are going to be people we already knew about. And then the rest of it's going to be like business people. And people are going to be like, oh, okay. Business people and socialites who have money and shit. To where it's not going to be the sexy, oh my God, I can't believe these names come out. It's exactly what happened. And I'm sorry, what was the reasoning again for having, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4 redacted? Or is my count off?
What? What do you mean?
What is the reason for having 4 of the names redacted?
Better lawyers.
Or do they still have names redacted from it?
Yeah. Number 19, redacted. Number 37, redacted. Number 50, redacted. Maybe there's, hold on. Number 7, redacted. Yeah. So 7, 19, 37 in a row, and 50. This
document was part of a defamation case that one of his victims brought against Ghislaine Maxwell.
Holy shit. I'm sorry. I just saw a picture of Deborah Bloom. That bitch has got that bitch got some crazy ass eyes. That bitch looks insane. Holy fuck. They all look fucking kind of nutty, but
like she'd bite it off.
Yeah, dude, I have had a few boys who've dated girls who've got the crazy, and I'm like, well, women, and I'm like, they had crazy eyes like that. I was like, yo, dude, don't do it. One of them wifed that bitch up, knocked her up, and boy, is he regretting that. I'm just sorry. Had to throw that. Wow, that's a whole lot of hell fuck no in one picture right there.
Did y'all see the back and forth? Who was it? Shit. I should really have my names in my head before I open my mouth. Aaron Rodgers called out that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be on the list.
Yeah. And Jimmy Kimmel was not pleased. Yeah. Threatened to sue him. So much Pat McAfee had to apologize. Like, hey, man, Pat McAfee is not one to apologize. But if you know anything about Pat McAfee, I learned this about him this year, wears a black wife-beater T-shirt on his show because when he got arrested for either got a DUI or he got something, his mugshot, he was wearing a black wife beater. So the man is self-deprecating and unapologetic, and he had to go on today and be like, yeah, sorry about that. Probably because they will both work for the same company. And Jimmy Kimmel probably called him and went, what the fuck? Or maybe Jimmy Kimmel's lawyer maybe called Pat McAfee's lawyer and went, what the fuck? But yeah, he had to apologize for it today.
Well, that's going to be a little embarrassing if Jimmy Kimmel's name pops up in this.
My guess was like, I don't, like reading it, like, right, it was, if you've been following Aaron Rodgers the last 3-4 years, he's definitely playing the Trump game of like, he's going up to he steps up to the line, right to it, and then steps back. Like, maybe not so much calling out Jimmy directly as maybe, I thought maybe going to be a lot of Jimmy's friends on there and he's not going to like it. But it's right, it's one of those Rorschach things. It's whatever I think you want to take from it. It's one of those kind of statements.
Apparently, word is that a judge approved an extension for the client list to be released. So I would imagine if anyone in there is redacted, it's because they were part of the client list. Now, that, I don't know that for sure. That is what people are saying right now.
You do not believe we landed on the moon.
I do not believe we landed on the moon. You are correct.
And your source
wait a
is
minute.
people are saying.
Yes, but I'm just listening. I'm just looking stuff
I think that's the
up
most
right now.
glaring.
I
Source.
don't.
People are saying.
That's why I say that, though, so people can take that with
I mean-
a grain of salt.
Here's the deal. You have to understand. I've made my peace with the fact that I love people who believe in talking snakes, reincarnation, being able to survive in the belly of a giant fish for how, you know what I'm saying? Just all types of nonsense because it's in a book that they were taught is the truth. And, well, what's your proof? Well, we said so. Oh, okay.
It's in this book.
What do you want me? Okay, dude, that's insanity to me. That's crazy to me.
But Rich, it's in this book that's never
Yeah,
been
people are saying
verified.
that's in that book, and that book is accurate. That's what people are saying, all right.
That whole book is people are saying.
So, okay. And then I have friends who just deny reality about other shit. And it's just like, okay, at a certain point, you got to be like, you got to pick and choose your battles. And by the way, I don't think just because I disagree with someone on one thing they believe, that means out of hand I can disregard everything else they believe. I mean, if I don't give a fuck about you, I'll dismiss you like that. But if I actually care about you, I know that you're a lot more layered human being than that, or otherwise I probably wouldn't care about you. You might be a little bit of a psychopath, but you're a lot more layered human being than that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hit too close to home for somebody?
Oh, no, I'm still reading. I was reading about this. This that's been released. There was a certain victim who didn't want names coming out. There was someone who didn't want names coming out.
Listen, I'm about to get paid. Don't put their names on the list.
Yeah, and so
It'll violate my NDA.
what came out it was clients, victims, co-conspirators, law enforcement, medical professionals, and witnesses. So, like, this list that came out is really kind of a nothing thing right now. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be stuff on there and stuff that people don't want known, but this is not, and it's said everywhere, this is not his client list. This isn't his flight log list. This is just what was found during discovery for this one particular person's defamation suit against Maxwell, not even against Jeffrey Epstein. So everyone made a really big deal. Yes, a big deal was made out of like pieces to the puzzle, but not even a large majority.
So Bill Clinton not running a child sex ring?
I mean, Bill Clinton was on there, but also just to make everyone else mad, so was Trump.
Well, they run together. Billy and Donnie's human trafficking extravaganza.
Yeah, is it it's not shocking to anybody at this point who's paying attention or would care to know this. Trump and the Clintons were buddies for quite a while.
Yeah.
They were at his wedding to Melania. There are pictures.
I mean, Trump was in like
someone saw a
2000.
TikTok that said it's Photoshop, so fuck that.
I think it was in 2002 that Trump's on record saying that Jeffrey Epstein is a stand-up guy. Great guy.
Some people are saying that's a Photoshop, Rich.
But my point is that the people who don't want to believe it are going to find a way to not believe it. There's nothing you can do about that, dude. Except for beat your head against the proverbial wall every week on a podcast. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've just kind of come to terms that we're just perpetually being gaslighted.
Yes.
Like,
and that's...
So I believe in my own two eyes. That's my new religion. It's my own face.
But even then, I can convince myself that I didn't see something. You know what I mean? Like, I can actually convince myself, like, no, you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. You're misunderstanding something. And that is new for me. That is something that's happened in the last, I don't know, 3.5 years for me.
Well, it's because you've been rewired.
I
feel we all kind of have.
Yes, it sucks.
So I got to get that legal weed, Tennessee.
You know, it's great.
So, all right, a big goose egg, big nothing with the Epstein list, at least as we're recording this. What else we got?
Hold on. We have our epic fart conversation to have, but I'm saving that. That needs to come towards the end, you know?
Feel there's a joke in there.
Yes, let's go back. We have Maine now trying to take Trump off the ballot.
And this one, the Secretary of State, not even like in Colorado, at least Colorado Supreme Court, This one, like the Secretary of State in Maine's like, nah, I'm making the call.
The janitor rolls up and he's like, you know what, actually, we're not doing this.
Does anyone else see the irony in all of these people that are talking about democracy is threatened? They are foregoing due process. No one sees that irony at all.
No, not in the public, and no one's going to point it out. So the public's going to act like they're unaware of it. And anyone who points it out, because the proper people haven't pointed it out and given us permission to acknowledge it in public, those people will be shouted down, or it's called conspiracy theorists, or far right, or racist, or istophobic, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
See, welcome, Jess. You're officially she just found. Yep, yeah. She's in the Matrix with us.
I mean, it's like I've said before, you spend so much time being mad about it. What's the point?
Well, I can tell you this. Here is the unintended consequences of what they're doing. I was apathetic as fuck. I did not care. Trump, Biden, either way, probably not going to really affect my life much. So fuck it. What do I care? Now that the powers that be are trying so hard to keep Trump from even being on primary ballots, I'm like,
Why?
I think I'm voting for Trump now.
Why don't you want it? Yeah. What? It's like it kind of what you always talk about when they tell you not to read those books. Read those books. It's kind of tapping into that part of my brain. I understand what you're saying.
Because here's the deal. Usually the cover-up is worse than the crime. So when I say read those books, I'm not just saying that, you're going to read it and you're going to be like, they're trying to hide shit. Sometimes you just read it and you go, this is just a shitty book. But it has a few words that they don't agree with, or a few ideas they don't agree with. But it's still a piece of shit. That's just as important. The point is, you need to know. Why are you trying to hide this from us? Why are you trying to take this option away from us? And I understand that people are like, there's true believers out there who believe Trump is truly a threat to democracy and America and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah. Those people are being used to push this shit through. I get that. Why are they really scared of it? And if they're that scared, then here's the deal. He doesn't have their best interest at heart. So I'll roll the dice that maybe the interest he does have at heart might coincide with mine a little bit better than the fuckers who've been sitting there for my entire life and doing nothing for me. Congratulations. That is what you have done. You have taken someone who had zero desire to participate in the process, and I am now going to vote. There you go.
I brought this point up. Let the man get his applause. I brought this point up in the chat. I don't know if I brought this up on the show, but this is giving the whole fact that he thinks 2020 was rigged against him air. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think it's preposterous that election was rigged and you scoff and you roll your eyes, this should piss you off because it's giving that life. It's bringing it back. I'm one of the first people. I think I might have said it with the show with just me and Rich. All of a sudden I'm going, this is the Colorado Supreme Court, and this is starting making me go, well, if they're trying to keep him off the ballot now, maybe we should, the last election was so safe, maybe we should perhaps double check that. You know? And I brought it up in the chat, like, blue team, I got my eye on you. This is strike two. Here's what. Number one, COVID, right? You tried to take our autonomy and our rights away in the name of quote unquote safety, right? And it turns out you were lying to us. All right. Now you're trying to circumvent fucking, the democratic process in the name of quote unquote saving democracy. I don't know. I've read some history books. This doesn't sound like the party of the people to me. This sounds like the party trying to take the power away from the people. I don't know. I just paid attention to history class. That's frowned upon nowadays.
That racist history we don't agree with.
And I'm not.
We're going to label it as something that's going to make it toxic.
Well, let me knock you, not you, Rich, off of that metaphorical ivory tower. I'm not talking about United States history. I'm talking about world history.
Oh, you mean funny mustache man from mid-20th century Germany?
Or that guy in Russia who had a much bigger body count, or this dude in China from the 70s.
Whose name sounds like a cat I follow online called Chairman Meow.
Or this dude, what was he from? I think it was Czechoslovakia in the 80s. He got his, though. But it's just, you see, these tactics have been used before. And what makes me even just go, a little more now is the people who are trying to do this are the ones crying the loudest about this kind of stuff is coming from the other side. Ooh, don't let them get into power. And it's really like, I've seen two things in the last 4 years that goes, maybe the grab is going to come from you. Because what if, oh boy, I'm unrigged. Here you go, Jess. Put it on. You know, I'm with you. I'll put on my tinfoil suit jacket. Because what if this becomes an excuse for the Democrats to seize, all in the name of we got to stop Trump? Hold on. Oh God. Whoa, I'm going down way to some crazy shit I've heard what if all of a sudden, for some reason in the next few months, they come up with the reason, we're just not going to have an election because there's all this shit with Trump going on and the courts are still deciding on it. We're just going to call this election off. We'll get you on the next one.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that. I've seen that they're saying that it's okay. I've seen people personally that I know say things like it's okay if they have to cheat as long as it makes sure Trump doesn't get in.
I asked that question, I think back in like 2018, in the middle of all the Trump shit. We're going to get him with the Steele dossier and all this shit, to our former co-host. And I said, would you be fine with knowing they broke the law and twisted the law to get Trump to where he could not run or finish his term or never run again? And it's funny because you pose that question to people, and I kind of wonder if the answer would be different now than it was then. Spoiler alert, if you don't remember what his answer was, I'm not going to tell you. Go back and dig through the archives.
Mm-hmm.
Have fun. A lot of show to dig through. But it's write me off as crazy conspiracy theory guy with the point I just made. But I got two, I'm not making shit up now. I got two actual things from the past that made me go, wait a minute. Like, blue team tried to take all of our rights away in 2020. Red team went in and went, hold on, calm down. And now they're trying to, keep us from voting from somebody. They're going to circumvent that process in the name of, we want to save democracy. Do you? Because wouldn't it be, isn't it up to us? Or it's no, you only get to vote from the choices we want.
Yep. Yep. It's going to be really interesting to see how all of this plays out. It's going to be a very interesting election year for sure.
Well,
especially if Biden dies.
Let's try to look past Trump outside of, let's say he gets elected. Or let's say there's such obvious shenanigans that goes on that it cannot be denied. I mean, it will be denied by all the usual suspects, but everyone else will be like, no, come on, no. What happens? Because the only thing I can think of to keep this country from ripping itself apart is that our government has to declaw and defang the office of the president even more than it already is, and just keep it as the figurehead and lightning rod for hate and discontent.
That's a conversation that I have periodically with people. And that is, there's no real winning, in my opinion, come this November. Because I don't believe that Biden can win again. I don't think that it is at all possible. And please chime in. Let me know if y'all think there is a snowball's chance in hell if the election was held right now that Biden could win if it was
Is
Trump.
anyone else concerned we have a president who could go to sleep at night and not wake up? He is of that age. Like, perfectly healthy people of his age. Just, hey, I'm going to bed, and then that's it. Because the human body.
Yeah, but like even with to take that out of it, look at the economy, look at everything that people are. Go open one of his Twitter or his X posts and look at the comments on. No one likes him. No one is like, fuck yeah, Biden.
Oh, actually, you mean that right-wing echo chamber?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know where else to see it. That's where I see him post things because Instagram doesn't force me to see that. X does. But there's no way for him to win. There's no way for him to win. But can we talk about the shit show that will ensue should Trump be elected? And how it's going to be nothing more than looking for election fraud, and we're taking this to court, and we're going to take this to court, and we just don't know, and we're going to have to recount, and we're going to have
4 years
to
of screaming and crying. Can't wait.
I mean, that's all that it is, and I don't think Trump is going to get in. I don't think that's going to be allowed to happen. I stand pretty firm on that. And I feel like there were some really obvious shenanigans that happened during the last election, especially in places like Georgia, where a water line broke, so they sent all the Republicans home.
I mean, Jess, I really think if this is where your revolution might happen, especially if he's not allowed on the ballot in a lot of states, or if he wins like a write-in campaign, like if he garners most of the vote and it's not allowed to count, I think this is where you finally see some boots starting to hit the streets because I think you'll get people. People go, what the fuck? Like, you keep telling us that, democracy, and this matters. Well, this is who we picked, and you're telling, like, I think that is where you might see shit start to happen.
I think the shit you see start to happen is, first of all, I just want to make sure that the terminology I'm about to use, everybody understands. When I say the term proxy war, you guys understand what that means, right?
Like,
when I say the U.S. was fighting a proxy war in Vietnam with the USSR.
What figurehead gets to be in charge?
Means. No, the point is the United States and USSR, instead of fighting each other on their own soil, were fighting in Vietnam over ideology that both countries were pitted against. You see what I'm saying? That's what a proxy war is.
Yeah, they're fighting for control.
But it's in lieu of fighting each other directly.
Oh, I understand. Gotcha.
Now you understand the concept is what I need you to understand. That is what I'm talking about.
Yes, we fought a representative of Russia.
Yeah, I forget how I was fucking. See, this is why I don't have these conversations anymore, because I'm sorry. Like, I need people to understand concepts, and I get lost in explaining concepts to people constantly, and it just sounds like digression after digression after digression, and it's really, no, I'm just making sure you can keep up. But that makes me sound like an asshole, so it is what it is. I don't know where I was fucking going with that, because I can't fucking keep up with myself, so there you go.
Was it about the revolution?
There's going to be, instead of a flat-out civil war, I think we're more likely to have proxy, quote-unquote, civil wars in the streets, meaning there'll be uprisings and people getting together and getting upset, and when it happens on the left, it'll be mostly peaceful fucking protesting, and when the right does it, it'll be insurrection somehow. It'll be rioting. It'll be they're trying to overthrow the government. Even though no one has yet to explain to me how a bunch of motherfuckers LARPing as furries in January in Washington, D.C., stripped down to their fucking bear shirt with fucking face paint and a fucking wolf head or whatever the fuck he had, boar head. What? How is him standing on government property? Well, that's it. He took over America. Why? Because the dude with the biggest hat said so. He's now king. How is that an insurrection? How are we ever in danger of losing the country to these people?
Yeah, weren't most of these people unarmed?
Yes.
Which, by the way, I'm still waiting for that next round of January 6th hearings. Remember the ones they were going to get back to, what, 2 years ago now?
That's what will happen. That's how it'll be fucking framed in the media. And the growing fucking right-wing media will obviously take their fucking side, and all they'll do is point to the mostly peaceful protesting, and the left-wing media will fucking look at the right and point to the insurrectionists and the trying to overthrow the government fucking riots. And meanwhile, people in the middle will just be going, oh my God, they're both crazy. I don't want anything to do with any of them. So it fucking makes us freeze. We just passively accept what we're given and told to accept. Mm-hmm. I think this might be in chapter 2 of the Divide and Conquer and how to fucking,
The Art of War.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not. Please. Shh. Let's just introduce concepts before we start introducing fucking like theory.
Oh, Art of War, Trump wrote Art of the Deal. Oh, it's the same thing.
There we go. That's the Galaxy Brain internet take that I'm dealing with when I try to have these conversations. And like, I know better than to have these conversations with 95% of people I meet in public, or I know personally. Like when politics comes up, I just fold my arms and start grinning. Yep, go ahead. Tell me how you feel. I don't give a fuck to talk about it with any of you. Because this is the play, and it works. And you can go back and go through the media, and because I wanted to be in radio, and because I'm fucking borderline autistic about the shit that I get fucking interested in, used to just be called, you got obsessed and you wanted to know about stuff, but now I got to be something I'm not. So a bunch of fucking single mothers with their fucking out-of-control kids can feel better about it. But anyways, that's a rant for another day.
I really don't know that they're going to... I don't know that we're going to see any sort of revolution, because I do think that we are all too apathetic to care anymore.
That's why I'm saying there'll be proxy civil war battles in these fucking left-wing fucking mostly peaceful protests. That's what I'm saying. In lieu of a fucking true revolution, that's what will happen. And they'll be considered victories. And even if you don't win, it'll be a moral victory. That's the same shit they fucking preach. Both sides preach during a fucking civil war. How is it different? Please tell me how it's different.
I mean, I don't.
You got to remember, I've contested that we never really stopped having a civil war. It just shifted to a cultural war, a religious war versus state war. I think that war has pretty much been won, at least for the time being. Or I don't know. I guess the fucking evangelicals have been pushed back to the point where no one's really worried about them as a political force, like they were 40 years ago. In the 80s, you guys were being courted if you were a evangelical Christian. The right wing was courting you. They wanted all of you. They wanted nobody who fucking believed in Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior to ever vote Democrat. Now, I don't think they give a fuck about your religion. You just vote for R. That's all we want.
Yep.
That's your religion. That's your belief.
Yeah.
That's where you put your faith in now.
Your religion is America.
America, yeah.
So, New England, that would be its own country, right? Probably all those grouped together. Florida and Texas would probably say fuck it and just finally become sovereign nations. Let's see, Washington.
Disney would own Florida very quickly. Disney would just be like, release our fucking private army. Citizens, go back to watching Disney Plus. It's only going to be subtracted $15.99 from your fucking Disney credit here in Disneyland. Or Disney World.
Well, I'm just saying those two states would just finally drop all pretense. Maybe Arizona as well. You don't know. But
what the fuck would Arizona do without Arizona is like the 5-year-old who's like, I'm running away, and you're like, let me help you pack. You little shit. What you gonna do? You can't cross the street without holding an adult's hand. So go stand at the corner and look like a dumbass for a couple hours. That fucking suitcase, idiot.
I don't know. It's true. We might lose Montana. As far as sovereign nations go, Montana and the Dakotas might go, y'all are crazy. We're just going to be up here being a whole lot of nothing. But definitely, I'm sure Washington, Oregon, and California will just all become, that'll become New Mexico, because Mexico will just take over that part.
But see, this is why none of this will happen, dude. Because people will be able to get their hatred and their vitriol for the other side out via these proxy battles. Don't think it hasn't been happening. Dude, what the fuck happened in 2016, 2017? I'm sorry. Charlottesville. That could be seen as an ideological civil war. An ideological civil war. That could be seen as a battle. And has been presented to extremists on both sides as that was the Battle of Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Go online and read how they talk about it.
Those 20 dudes shot from an upward angle, so they looked like they were numerous. You can Google aerial shot of Charlottesville rally.
Enjoy the dozens upon dozens of fucking people there. Yeah. And it was made to be like, oh my God, look at the thousands marching with tiki torches. Like 24, maybe 36 guys. Really? Okay. But no, dude, and I mean, like that shit, come on, man. How many times did we cover these skirmishes on the old show? And we just laughed it off. No, man. They've been fucking painted as these glorious battles to these morons who are buying into this shit. And here's the deal. The morons who were out there doing it back then are now the old guard, because this is a lifestyle and a fucking ideology that burns you out quickly, especially on the left. So they're teaching this bullshit as if it's the fuck, like, as if this is the new, like the Battle of Gettysburg or some shit, to the new fucking dumbass kids coming out of high school who are reading at a third grade fucking level.
Hey, what happened to Antifa? They've been real quiet since 2020.
I'm sure they'll ramp back up here this year.
Yeah, eating their Wheaties and training, getting ready.
Resting up for the election year and go storm the polling places.
Yeah, I don't know. I really think the apathy has been the goal the whole time. That people just don't care. Again, aliens. Hey guys, there's aliens. Cool. Don't care. That would have messed people up in 2019. We don't even talk about it. No one cares.
That's because no one's fucking admitted to aliens. They just keep talking about,
they're not specific.
Yeah, it's always like non-Terran something. What the fuck does that mean? Well, those non-human remains found. That could be a dog. That could be a fucking a bunch of insects. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? But when you leave it all, and then what do we get? The whistleblower comes out, he says his piece, and then what happens? Nobody did anything about anything. Mm-hmm. Which is what it's like. Anytime it's like, guys, oh fuck. Anytime the government puts on their dog and pony show, it's for your fucking. It's to capture your attention. They've already done what they've needed to do. Now they're fucking doing their distracting technique while they cover up their fucking crime. That's all it is. All it is. How much does anything ever come out of these type of fucking oversight committees, inquiries, questionings, blah, 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 hearings, whatever the fuck? What comes out of this shit? Look at the Kennedy stuff. How many fucking decades has that shit been pushed back and then fucking slowly pushed back? And whatever's not just pushed back, but whatever's released is redacted blacked out as a motherfucker. Like, what's the point of releasing that? I think we talked about it on one show. Like, if you added up all the fucking words and put them on the average fucking words per page, like 200 pages worth of documents, it was something like 4 pages. What the fuck good is that? When we released it.
Yep. No, people just, they've shown us over and over. We can't do anything about it. Can't change anything. So why care? So people don't care. And maybe
you know how you bring about change?
How?
You destroy the economy.
Well,
you get it to where corporate America is like, we don't want to be corporate America. We'll put our headquarters someplace else. And they take all their fucking money and they take all that fucking, all that whatever rah-rah America bullshit, and it leaves, and you get empty platitudes and you get marketing, and that's what you get. But you don't get anything backing it up, because you hardly get anything backing it up now. But you really won't have anything backing it up. When that happens, politicians' powers will start to dwindle because they won't have anyone. No one will want the job because there's no money to get.
Yeah.
And why would I be a politician when I can retire from politics and go be a lobbyist? Oh, and I can lobby in any country, especially Dubai, someplace over there, please.
Well, Rich, I think you're onto something, because the summer 2020 showed us an unemployed, angry population will get riled up real quick.
That's what I'm saying. If the economy goes into fucking shitter and corporate America withdraws from America and just becomes corporate wherever the fuck they settle down at, yeah, there's your revolution. Yeah. Now what happens the day after, quote unquote, it's won? See, people always want to focus on how was it won. I don't want to hear about, okay, great, one side won. The people that were in power are no longer in power. Okay, celebrate that day. You got to wake up the next day. That's the day that it's all about. And no one wants to talk about that, because that is when the war starts all over again, because that's human nature.
Yeah, somebody goes, oh, crap, we needed some of that.
Somebody goes, I don't agree with this. I don't want to do this. We're not doing this. This offends me. You can't build because you had nothing. You're just people coming to the scraps of a fucking country that collapsed. You didn't destroy the country with any united ideology trying to fucking put that and install that in place of it. You just were like, yay, it collapsed. Nah. And it's like, yeah, well, now there's nothing. What do you idiots bring to the table? Oh, that's right. You morons think you're going to sit around and strum acoustic guitars and fucking write fucking Arlo Guthrie of the 21st century fight songs for the fucking Communist Party, and somehow that's what you're going to do for a living?
Yeah.
No.
What are you contributing to the new society, fuckhole?
Exactly. What do you bring to the table, dummy? And believe me, there ain't going to be shopping sprees because you feel depressed once the fucking greater good has taken over.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
I do have a favorite child.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
I use memes as a coping mechanism.
It's Mattress Firm's once-a-year sale and clearance. Get up to 60% off select Sealy, plus a free adjustable base, all with free and fast delivery. Deals this big won't last long, so don't miss out. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
I mean, like, and then you have the people who are like, we need to be super America, super libertarian. Okay, great, wonderful. Now what? Who's putting out the fire? Who's arresting the motherfucker that's going around raping the chicks, raping the girls, fucking walking to and from school because there's no school buses?
Hey, it's 2023. Don't forget, they raping everybody around here. They gotta hide everybody.
All right, yeah, Michael Jackson might be reincarnated by that point, or at least cloned. His clone would be almost 15, right? If he was cloned in 2009.
Hide your wife, hide your children, hide your husband. They raping everybody around here.
There could be a little 15-year-old cloned version of Michael Jackson running around trying to sniff little boys' booty holes. So yes, be careful and protect your booty hole. Stay vigilant, Kings.
All right, cool. So we know the downfall is going to happen.
I just really, I don't know. I think it's going to be a real interesting year. I am expecting something big to happen as a big, like, I don't know the right word I'm looking for. Some sort of big something.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
Something to spark. But I mean, here's the thing. They really don't want all out fucking war between the suburbs and the fucking and the sticks, because the sticks, yeah, first of all, the suburbs can maybe hold the suburbs, and the cities can, suburbs versus cities, and I guess we're going to include the sticks as part of the suburbs. The cities might be able to hold their own if there are certain cities and they have certain situations set up that favor them to do that. The rest of the country is so spread out, you ain't going to get a bunch of people together that are going to fight off fucking the Trump country people. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to keep your mouth the fuck shut and really pick and choose your battles if you don't agree with the fucking Trump country people.
The red side is heavily armed.
And yes, they own a lot of property. The property they don't own, they still know it in a lot of cases. I'm not talking about the people that live on the suburbs, like or on the outskirts of the suburbs, even the western suburbs here in Detroit, who they might be living like Fowlerville or something like that, and they're like, "Oh, I'm in the sticks." No. I'm talking about the motherfuckers that live like in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, where there's just miles and miles and miles of woods, and those fuckers know them like the back of their hand because they were raised and born and raised there. Period. End of story.
It just came to me why I like Yellowstone. It's Republican Godfather.
I haven't watched it yet.
But but everything
the
Richard
Sopranos was Republican Godfather, but okay, I get your point. I know what you're saying.
It's Trump country Godfather. How about that? Like it's
gotcha.
Everything you just said reminded me of like people's attitudes in that show, or the dudes in that show. You know, dude owns so much land, but he knows all the land around his land and all that shit. New spoiler if you haven't seen it yet. Just not on like just these are like little plot points. Knew like what river to dam to like fuck up someone else's property, like that kind of shit. You know, like
that shit's real. That shit's real. Like you go up to the Thumb, the ex-wife's family, they had 20 acres up there. They were like, "Oh, if we block this off, we fuck those people over there, but we like them." And I'm like, "Okay, but there's people over there too." Yeah, but if we blocked it off there, it would fuck them, and we like them. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not asking any more questions. I feel like I'd be called to testify at some point.
It's definitely it's one of those moments you're like, damn, what year is it?
Like, welcome to the real world.
We're still doing this? Yeah.
Yeah. This is 21st century. This was not last century. This was not 1990 when this incident happened. It was 2000 and a number
and late
when this shit happened. So yeah. But anyways, all right. What's this epic fucking fart conversation you want to have? Do you just want us to read our fucking parts back and forth? Like, do a table read?
No. I want to acknowledge the incredulousness of, I need to pull up the actual, just so I can quote it, make sure it's said right, this headline.
From The Sun. And I guess The Sun is like, is The Sun a joke paper? Did I fall for a joke thing? I know it's a European. I thought it was just like their version of like the New York Post.
Let's see.
I thought The Sun was like their version of like something like that, like a very partisan news outlet. That's so partisan it almost becomes satire of itself at times.
Let's see that. Beautiful. It's a tabloid.
Whatever, run with it.
But people are saying they post like stuff. Like
people are saying, are you questioning the integrity of this fart article?
I need to know if the fart art. Listen, I
feel like maybe we need to put the fart article on the back burner for a few minutes and let it fucking.
Should we call it a farticle as well?
Hold on. No. Let Jess take a look. Okay. And in the meantime, this is one that, Chris, we could talk about because, I mean, even though Jess is the one that brought it up in the chat, it does affect us in our backyard, which is Detroit is asking residents to house illegal aliens, which, by the way, any question about where on the political spectrum the townhall.com falls upon.
They're Trump supporters?
As Biden's border crisis gets out of hand. All right, so Biden's border crisis is taking a turn for worse as illegal aliens wreak havoc on states, overwhelming shelters and resources. The latest state to hit the panic button as illegal immigrants storm from the southern border is Detroit. So many border crossers have made landfall in the city that activists are urging members of their community to house migrants in their private homes. Okay, the African Bureau for Immigration and Social Affairs, the NGO that settles... an NGO, excuse me. What is an NGO?
I don't know, but I just know that's... You're going to use NGO and you're dealing with Africans? Those are just... That's an unfortunate acronym.
Non-governmental organization.
It's a little too close.
Okay. Is a non-governmental organization that settles and cares for African migrants trying to decide in the U.S., is working to find shelters for illegal immigrants as the crisis gets worse. We've been calling on administrators. We have seen a lack of supportive services for that specific community, primarily working with black immigrants. The group's founder, Senegalese native, Saidi Star, Senegalese, okay. See, I'm thinking that am I changing pronunciations and dropping but no, Senegalese. Okay. How would you pronounce that name? Saidi Star?
I'm not reading along. I just know Senegal as a country.
Oh.
My bad.
Okay, doesn't matter. She's a native of Senegalese. Senegal. Whatever. God damn. Something needs to be done about it, blah, 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 blah. She goes, as she's making her case, Star said Detroit doesn't have tent encampments along the highway and sidewalks because community members have stepped up and offered their homes as shelter. Community members have been picking people off the street and taking them into their own homes, whether it is a Senegalese community, Mauritania folks,
sure,
Haitian, whoever. Some people have 12, 18, 20 people in their... No. Okay, hold on.
Stop lying.
Okay, at this point, this becomes fan fiction, right? This is wishful fucking fan fiction at this point.
All I gotta say, if this is really happening in the city of Detroit, how much are you paying people? If people in the city of Detroit are taking in like a half dozen to a dozen people, what kind of stipend are you paying them to take these people in? Because
someone who's partially state-raised childhood, no one's taking you in for free.
Yeah, I've been to the city of Detroit. I know the mentality of most of the citizens.
So I'm just saying, that's when you're a kid. People ain't taking you in for free in this area. That's when you're a child. Children get much more sympathy than grown-ass men showing up talking about, I have no place to stay. Trust me on that. I've been on both sides of that equation.
Ooh, now, Rich, could we get a kid? Could we adopt him? Like I said, this would be an investment opportunity.
2.5 Men, V2,
take him to
2.0.
Take him to the gym, figure out what he's good at. Like, okay, no, yeah, all right, okay, all right, but maybe basketball's not your thing. Ooh, he can catch and he can run. All right, let's go with this. I don't know.
See, is it wrong? I want to put a musical instrument in his hand instead.
Right, that's the thing too, right? Maybe, can you play an instrument? Can you? How are you with pitch? Can you sing? Can you dance?
I don't know. You'd have to cover I don't know why we're all of a sudden an imaginary gay couple who want to adopt a fucking little...
no, Rich, in 2020, this is 2.5 Power 2. It's 2024. White Saviors. That would be the name of the show.
Oh, okay. Legal Guardians. Get it?
Eminem lives around the corner. Maybe we take him to him. Hey, can this kid rap? Let us know. If not, do you offer lessons?
Make a fucking reality show about turning our adopted son into fucking into the next rap superstar from Detroit.
The premise of the show is we adopted a black kid as an investment in the show. Is we try to figure out what he's good at to make us the most money, whether it's sports, music.
I'm thinking we just go to Eminem and be like, look, just if the kid has no talent, could you just can he just stick around you and see if some rubs off? And here's, and then the irony is, if he does have talent, boom, he's the next big rapper out of Detroit. And ironically, he was adopted by a ambiguously not gay duo and loaned out to UM, a white rapper who's notorious for stealing black culture and making it and using it so selfishly. And now you've returned the favor by it's somehow full circle. I don't know. Get George Lucas to write it. He'll just be like, it's like poetry. It rhymes. It's all that matters. I don't know.
I figure this bit will now ensure no one on a national scale will ever take interest in us. Oh, you say stuff like that? Hey, we keeps it real.
Okay, so hold on a sec. So Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie literally adopt a bunch of kids trying to hope to turn them into their own fucking personal Hollywood empire. And then fucking Nepo baby them into the careers they want them to have. That's fine because they're pretty. They get away with that shit.
Yes, like most things in this country, Rich. It's okay if you're hot.
That's a lesson I forgot. Anyways, moving on.
Has social media taught you nothing?
Moving in? Yeah, no. Yeah. No, it hasn't. I was going to say that. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I just think, okay, now I'm just calling horse shit on a lot of what this Miss Star is having to say here. Star with 2 R's. Be careful Googling that name. You might fucking end up on, like, X-Hamster or some shit.
Yeah, I can't actually even find that article.
The farting article?
Yes.
The farticle?
Okay. The farticle? So not only did we not get first huff of the farticle, but the farticle huff was never... no one was ever going to get it because there's no farticle to huff.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm in a huff at the lack of farticle to huff.
Yes.
Boom. Resend.
I want to call ex-Tiger Aubrey Huff about it.
Right. No, I looked it up.
Oh, this
and
is a picture.
It's a picture.
Now look up if farts can cause heart attacks or blood clots.
All right, let's mess up my Google algorithm real quick.
Oh, come on, Miss Piss fucking flag flyer. Shut the fuck up and do your shit.
Don't even say
You
that.
don't even know how to fucking pull up incognito at this point. You deserve what you get. Jesus, haven't we taught you anything? Control F, all that shit. Nothing, huh?
Okay, the first thing, wow, okay. 2 headlines that pop up. Jesus Christ, people have problems. I said, can farts cause blood clots? Farting blood, 11 causes, treatments, and concerns. I'd be concerned if I farted blood.
I love that Slayer.
Sorry.
I'm farting blood. What does it mean if I fart blood?
Oh my god, that's so specific. He's not. I'm shitting blood.
I'm farting blood.
How do you? Oh, you just spray it on the inside of your Fruit of the Looms? I mean, it's just. I'm just picturing like a fart spray.
I can't breathe.
Like a Jackson Pollock on the inside of my fucking underwear. And the doctor's like, "Are you concerned about that? Should I be, doc?" I can't tap out. I can't.
Farting blood. I love that Slayer song.
Oh my god.
I would be
Chris, I'm sorry. The laugh you got of that was off fucking mic. I am so sorry about that, dude. That was hilarious.
I would be very, very concerned. I would definitely be. We would bypass the urgent care. We'd go to the emergency room. Why are you here? I am farting blood. I understand. Fill this out. Have a seat.
I grabbed my bucket from Home Depot in case you need to fucking see. Just in case. No, we'll take your word for it. No need. Please pull your pants back up.
Sir, do you mean there's blood in your stool? No, I mean I am farting blood.
Okay, but by definition, if you fart, nothing's supposed to come out, because if something comes out when you fart, it's a fart. So you fart blood. Or would you be sharting blood?
Farting blood has a much better ring to it. But I guess that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like why it was so funny. I'm like, what? It's not a fart, but it's not a shart because shit isn't involved. It's just air spraying blood that's somehow dripping down your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, so do you have a boil that's like bleeding and it's dripping past? And you unfortunately not only had this boil, but you ate like Taco Bell 4 hours before, and it's just blowing, dripping blood. Like oh god, I'm sorry, the tism took over, and I fucking really wanted to know how that worked, and that flashed in my head in about 0.00001 second, and then I got the worst case of the giggles ever about it and then Chris said, "Farting blood is my favorite Slayer song," and I was like, "Forget it, done." So, yeah. Oh, shit. Okay.
Farting blood. I'm never going to listen to that song the same ever again.
No, it's like deep dick thrombosis. Anytime someone talks about it or read an article about deep vein thrombosis, I just think of deep dick thrombosis and that fucking...
I'm really glad that's not just me. I'm really glad that hasn't been ruined for just me and that we like trauma bonded over this, because same fam. Same.
I gave her the thrombosis.
So, did you tear the pussy up, man? I gave her some deep dick thrombosis, man. Damn. She had a stroke over that shit?
What,
she had a stroke around it.
You killed her? Yeah.
Pussy that bad? Damn. This feels very Harlem Nights fucking conversation between Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor-esque. I killed her. Oh, you tore the pussy up. No, I mean, I literally killed her. Damn, son, was the pussy that bad? Like, it's just...
So did you find your farticle?
No. She found that you should be concerned about, and we lost it.
Yeah, no,
If
there
you're
is
farting
no...
blood, end of article. Now I'm concerned, and I'm going to the doctor. I don't need anything else you're saying. I'm good. I'm sorry. It's like if I look down and fire shoots out my dick.
Yeah.
Not a burning sensation.
No,
fire shoots out my dick.
Speaking of Eddie, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to the doctor. Oh, shit.
But yeah, there's no article.
Okay, see? But you can push and strain so hard that you could fucking have a heart attack if you fucking are, because that's what happened with
Elvis died.
Elvis. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but okay.
Because he's all blocked up. Because he's on them
No,
pills.
listen. If you are straining so hard trying just to fart, I feel like that also. You just need to go somewhere.
Sometimes it's in there.
You're
and
you're admitting to some health issues on the air, Chris. I'm just letting you know ahead of time.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm older than you.
No, I mean, sometimes you gotta fart, and it's like, it's you gotta push it to the top, like it's starting. You feel it forming.
Nope. You don't. You can just wait and see if it comes or if it doesn't.
And here's the deal. I fight harder to hold them in than I don't think I've ever really had to push a fart out.
I'm not saying
you have
it's
a reluctant sphincter, bro.
I'm not saying it's every fart, but every now and then you get one that starts deep, and you're like, oh, I got to fart, and then you go to fart, and it doesn't, and it's like, all right, well, I guess we gotta give it a little oomph. No, trust me, I am 44 years old. Trust me, plenty of people in public have been crop dusted. Unintentionally. Yeah, you're just walking and, hey, we're farting now. You have no say in the matter.
I don't, how do you distinguish between if it's a fart or a poop? Because if you feel like you have to really...
Oh, you know.
I know, this is a you thing. I don't think I do know.
You can't tell if there's going to be solids attached to it or not?
Not if I have to, feel it festering deep inside of me. And
I'm not saying it's like it sits there forever. I'm saying this all happens in seconds. This isn't like this doesn't go on over a matter of hours.
I've never had to, force a fart. I've never had to PSI, put some pressure behind making sure I could fart.
Don't paint me as the freak in this room, people. I feel I am not the only person who has ever pushed out a fart.
I mean, okay, here's, I've really gave it some thought since this exchange version 1 in the group chat. No, dude, not unless I've been on a toilet trying to shit and I've been constipated and I'm like, oh, here comes, and a fart just comes instead. And then I'm like, fuck. Then I'm pissed off.
I wish enough people listen to this show to do a Twitter poll or an X poll or whatever you call it now. Have you ever pushed out a fart? Yes or no? If you know what, if you hear this,
I feel like pushing out a fart is trusting a fart you shouldn't have.
Yeah, no, if you were trying to push out farts like that, Chris, you need to be doing it over the toilet because you're going to have a bad day one day.
I feel like that's, yeah.
No, because there have been instances where I'm like, nope, we got to stop. Nope, that's not going to be a fart. There's been a couple of those over the years. Like, nope, we better just pucker up.
Maybe my intestines on the inside are just dead from years of drinking and eating like shit. And yours, you like, maybe the nerve endings in my intestines are just because I don't know, dude. When I'm like, oh boy, I got shit. I get a little bit of warning, but not like, oh boy, that's going to be an issue later. No, I don't get that much of a heads up. So maybe that's a me issue.
I heard in the next 10 years, I heard over 50, you start farting when you get up, like from a chair, from the couch, getting out of bed, and like no staying in bed, or your body just goes, oh, pressure change, time to fart.
I feel like maybe there's stuff you could do to offset that, like booty kegels or something.
No, I don't know.
I don't even want to know why.
I mean, every old
that
man
sounds like a real thing, but I don't even want to know why.
Right.
Well, because you could kegel your booty.
Every older man I've ever pretty much come in contact with at some point unintentionally farts. I just think maybe that's one of the things that happens with us is just no.
See, the only person I know who has a problem with it that could be even close to considered unintentionally farting is my buddy Scott, but I'm pretty sure it's all intentional. Because he's the only person that's like, bro, really? He's that guy. And he's always like, yeah. It's just how Scott is.
Well, even, my mom's getting older. She don't listen. She's 75, and every now and then when I'm over there, she'll be walking around. She'll be walking around the kitchen, and one will just leak out. Now, she laughs. Like, my mom thinks farts are funny.
Oh, my God. The women in one side of my family
I'm not saying she
strokes and want to lynch me.
I'm not saying she
said anything like that.
Ripping the sheets, but, a little squeaker might come out every now and then. What? Why do we all act like we don't do this? I've always wondered that. Like, people are like, oh, like.
It's not that we don't do it. It's like, bro, it's just something that, like, I said, I will fight to hold in a fart. I've never had to fight to push one out. Maybe that's because, okay, now hold on. Now that I think about it, I was also raised to never fucking fart unless you're in, like, a bathroom. Yeah, so there might have been shame and fucking from a young age being told like that. I just don't remember getting smacked or something that made me, because now that I think about it, I will fight to hold in a fart out of instinct when I'm driving in the car by myself. And then I'm like, what the fuck? And then I roll down the windows and let it go.
See, the standard I was brought up at, standard in my house when I was a kid was, if you're at home, let it fly. That was the environment I was brought up in.
See, here's what I'm starting to learn. Your family was like, as long as it's not making us look like a bunch of fucking whiskey tango motherfuckers, yeah, let it fly at home. Standard in my family, we don't care if it causes you pain. You don't do it because we told you it's not polite to do it.
Every time you fart,
so you suffer until we tell you it's okay to not suffer.
Every time you fart, it kills Jesus again.
I mean, it never got to that, but it was like, oh yeah.
Every time you fart, we're taking away a present at Christmas.
You'd think so. You'd think it was some fucking like goddamn, what the fuck did I, But yeah, absolutely.
You fart again, we're killing the Easter bunny.
I want to say pretty much you have like, and the side of the family I'm thinking you probably, especially when I was growing up and was around this age and a little bit older, so I witnessed it with the younger people in the family. Man, you had maybe a year after you got out of diapers and farting was no longer funny unless it was just a perfectly timed one. Farting was very
I had cousins I had contests with.
See, but the guys, it was like the guys you like. One guy was just like I don't give a shit, and he just fucking bust ass, and he was a legend for it at the time. Everyone else in the family was just like they would sneak it and then laugh about it, and if you weren't there to either get a whiff or hear it, you never knew about it. And they knew that they were taking their day and how the rest of that day and night was going to go into their own hands when they did that. Because if the wrong female in my family knew what happened, they would be iced out, and it would just be, everybody would be miserable. Everybody would have to be miserable because that happened. I've witnessed this happen. This happened multiple times in my childhood. So, yeah.
Or, Rich, was everyone in your family just deferring to the champion? You're like, this guy's got it on lock. We're not even going to bother. We'll be outside.
Nah, homeboy didn't fart a whole lot. He just fucking didn't give a shit. I'll tell you who it is off the air, and you'll be like, oh, I recognize that name. And I'm like, I know you do.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, he had that reputation in the family. Not that his reputation wasn't for flatulence. His reputation was for, I don't give a fuck.
You know what my favorite prank to do to somebody was? I totally stole it from Adam Carolla, but it works. Is you fart in a coffee can and put the lid right back on. Like, you get it within a couple hours, dude. It's fucking, it's my sense of humor. I laughed every time.
I mean, I had a group of guys that, looking back, I don't say I'd call us friends. We just all happened to be going to school and in the same fucking, like,
most of the same classes together, so by default we hung out. And there was this is pre-internet, youngins. You had to do shit. We literally had to fuck around and find out. There was a debate in this crew of whether you could light a fart on fire or not. I was the youngest. I was 14. Everybody else was like 15, 16. I feel, looking back, we should have all known that farts were flammable at that point, but whatever. So it come down to people who did say they're flammable said they're not doing it because they're afraid they'd heard stories. People were saying, I heard stories 2 towns over, man, there's this kid, blah, blah, blah. That was people were saying. That was the internet back in the day. That if you don't do it just right, that you could suck somehow the air into you and the fire could go up in you and fuck you up. And it's worse than ass rape, and no one was going to do it.
They had to sew his asshole shut. He's got a colostomy bag now.
Yeah, dude, oh my God, were you there? Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, but Livonia, 1991, sounds like it. But yeah, so it was the dude who was like, no, they're not flammable. And they were like, fine, fuck it. And so then we finally got the dude to hold the lighter, and he lit it, and the dude farted, and it went up. It was wintertime, so he was wearing jeans. But it was also the early 90s, and he was a metal dude, so they're pretty tight jeans. And it went up his jeans, and it flipped him the fuck out because he, I guess, truly didn't believe that was going to happen. And he come up off the floor faster than any white, pudgy metal fucking fan has any right to do. So, yeah.
Oh, my friend's first time it happened, we fucking cheered. We're like, oh my God, it's real. Especially too, because he got it. I remember it now. He got a nice blue flame. We had the lights out and everything.
See, okay, here's the deal. Most of those guys are either dead or in prison. So I'm gonna go ahead and do something. I'm gonna see. I only remember the first. Dave, Terry, aka Socks. There's 4 other guys. I can't remember their names. Fuck.
It was this kid Eric, who ironically the house we moved out of, he lived like 2 blocks away from us for like 10 years. I never made it over there. But yeah, no, his uncle used to go out of town and have him stay there to like let the dogs out or whatever. So we'd just go over there and fucking like smoke weed and drink our Mountain Dew and sometimes alcohol and order a bunch of pizza and all that.
Okay, So that was Terry's house, and Terry's parents both worked, but Terry's parents were like, we'd rather you do this shit here. And also, I think Terry had an older sister and maybe like an uncle who was like in, I don't want to call it a flop house, but it was close to a flop house. So that's like that was our version of what you're talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where that was the first place I smoked weed. First place I'd done a lot of dumb shit. So, yeah.
We had to be nice to it because it was his uncle's house. We had to be, like, relatively civilized, but, still. And our parents, too, they knew what was going on, so you're all going to be in the same place and you're not going to drive. Sure, cool, whatever.
Yeah, how old were you guys? Like 16, 17?
Oh, this was like 15 through like 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like I was by far the youngest at 14. And I think, oh, shit. I can remember his nickname was Malone. Because he had a big ass head. We used to call him Watermelon Head, and we just shortened it to Melon. And then someone was like, "Call him Malone," and so we just called him Malone. But fuck.
Oh, if he's Hispanic, that's racist.
No, he wasn't Hispanic. He was white and he was stupid, and he got into a fucking ATV accident and knocked out all his teeth. And he was only 15, and he had a full set of fucking dentures. And the shits looked good. So obviously somebody had insurance for that accident, because that was not some fucking like. Anyways, fuck. Sorry, got lost in my own.
When you're a kid, you're on your parents' insurance.
Yeah, but man, these weren't the kids that had parents like who had good insurance for the most part.
Maybe you worked for the UAW.
I don't know what all of them did, but yeah. See, Terry's house was but everybody else's house was, except for the one kid's house we rehearsed at. Everybody else's house was pretty much off limits, or like you walk in the back door and like you took your shoes off and you stood in the kitchen and kept your hands in your pockets. Like, dude, stay in here. I gotta go talk to my mom. Mom, your fucking friends in here. Mom, they're in the kitchen. All right, I have to take their shoes off. They're just standing there. That was that type of shit. So, yeah, no.
See, I was just friendly to the parents. They generally liked me.
But I
wasn't like Eddie Haskell friendly. Well, there's a reference for the kids.
2/3 of this show gets that.
Right.
That's Beaver, right?
Oh,
shit.
out of left
out of
field.
left field.
Buzzer with the fadeaway, man. She's just bam. And you're like, whoa, that play was not meant to go to you, but okay.
That's a boomer reference, too. That's 2 generations ahead of you.
I mean, I do have family.
That's true. Yeah, and you live down south, and they like all that wholesome crap down there.
No,
and you have cable.
Most of my friends' parents were pissed off that their kids existed, it seems like, and they really didn't like their kids' friends, except for Dave, who, I don't know, I couldn't pick really Dave out of a lineup now, and like I still think he's like doing time upstate, but Dave had no problem with women, and Dave had like no problem with our friends' older sisters, and sometimes like the mothers were like, is Dave there? Is Dave with them? Hey, Dave, you can come in, say hi to me. You ain't gonna say hi to me, Dave? That type shit.
I'll say hi to
So,
you.
yeah, and then the rest of us would come in, and she'd be like, ugh. Like, that's how it was. And it was like, okay, we knew our place. We were not wanted nor welcome for the most part. Like, you are an inconvenience to us. That was my childhood. Well, that was a sliver of my childhood.
Right.
And surprise, surprise, you get a crew of 7, 8 kids whose parents feel that way all together.
Well, yeah, it's a trope for a reason. The whole birds of a feather, like-minded people generally group together.
Yeah. So
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
All right. Anything not fart related?
But what's the fun in that?
Fair enough. Well, I mean, this is kind of shitty, so it's like it's cousins to farts. As sleep is the cousin to death, shitty is the cousin to farts. Farts would be the cousin to shitty, because shitty's a lot worse than a fart. Unless you're farting blood from a lacerated anus. But California's new minimum wage is predictably killing food delivery jobs. This is from Reason Magazine. Your turn to read to the class, Chris. It's your fucking article you sent.
Stand by. We have Joey B and his shades. There we go. From Reason.com. So, put up your partisan mental block now, I guess. A new California law will... Take 2. A new California law will require that most food service workers get paid at least $20 per hour starting next year. But hundreds of pizza delivery drivers in the Los Angeles area are about to discover that Thomas Sowell's, I believe is how you say his name, famous adage that the true minimum wage is 0. Yes, Republican leaning. I can definitely tell you that. Pizza Hut announced Wednesday that it would lay off about 1,200 delivery drivers in Los Angeles, Orange, and Riverside counties. CBS News reported Pizza Hut franchisees are outsourcing delivery to third-party apps like Grubhub and Uber Eats as a cost-saving measure in advance of the new law taking effect. The layoffs are likely to take effect in February, the Los Angeles Times reports, just weeks before the new higher minimum wage hits.
Real quick, actually, that's Thomas Sowell.
Sowell, gotcha. Sowell brother. California's minimum wage for all workers is already $15.50, one of the highest wage floors in the country. The new $20 per hour minimum wage applies to all employees of fast food chains with at least 60 locations in the country. So you can expect that this Pizza Hut won't be the only chain doing this. That's me putting my commentary in there. Governor Gavin Newsom signed the fast food worker minimum wage proposal into law in September. The law also created a new state board. I can't wait to see that clown show, by the way. The Fast Food Council that will play a role in settling labor standards and future wage increases for many food service jobs. I envision they are just going to legislate fast food jobs out of existence. That's just me. Dude, I've been so right about so much of this shit in the last 10 years. Why would I stop being right? Anyway, the new wage mandate is already costing jobs, or That the new wage mandate is already costing jobs should not be much of a surprise. Perhaps worse is the unseen cost in the form of jobs that will never exist in the first place, like burger flipping at a fast food joint. Pizza delivery gigs are low-level employment opportunities for workers with low skills or those seeking a little extra cash. Hiking the minimum wage means some workers will earn more, but other people will effectively be priced out of the labor market. Labor costs account for 1/3 of the fast food costs, so prices will rise. McDonald's and Chipotle already have announced higher prices for the next year. Reason contributor Stephen Greenhut wrote last month, "For most of us, the higher prices will mean a little less pocket cash and a lot more home-cooked meals. But think about the lost opportunities for people who need them the most." Good job,
Okay,
California.
First of all, the fact that they're gonna that pizza delivery drivers are what is it? I'm trying to fucking look for the exact quote here. Sorry. Like extra, basically like, oh, it's just extra money. It's blah, 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 blah. Maybe now, but I can tell you this. Decade ago, right pizza place, right area, you're making $600 a week, working 5 days a week, 6 to 8 hours a day. And that's before your paycheck. And your paycheck, yes, was sub-minimum wage, but the right pizza place makes it worth it to make $6 an hour because you're getting what they call it. I don't know if they call it this now. They might even have changed the vernacular as far as I know. That a tip credited wage, meaning because I accept tips, they can pay me less than the state minimum wage. But because I use my vehicle, it has to be of a certain blah, 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 blah. I could have told you what it was 10, 15 years ago, whatever that was, but I can't tell you what it is now. I don't even know if that's still a thing now. But I mean, like, that's just not, I get what they're trying to do, but you don't need to fucking lie to try to make your point. You could make a living. That's, dude, $2,400 a month plus what? $200, $400 in a paycheck a decade ago? How do I know you could make that? Because I was making that. Remember, I was drinking and smoking a lot. That wasn't cheap, homeboy.
Oh, no.
And I had my own place at the time. Like, people never, but see, that's the thing, like,
I was making more money than I was as the music director and assistant program director and doing afternoon drive as a radio station. I came back to Detroit and was like doubling the money I was making.
Yes. So, I mean, that's my beef with the article because it's like, okay, you're showing your hand a little bit. You're trying to fucking paint with such a broad brush that you're becoming the thing you're trying to attack in this article. So, once again, I'm not saying it discredits everything that they say in the article, but it definitely makes me look at the article with an eyebrow raised.
I just think this is going to be like, if this is going to be the standard. You know what Pizza Hut's doing? They're going, okay, Grubhub, you pay for it.
Well, here's the deal. Grubhub isn't going to pay for anything. What Grubhub is going to do is, I think the Grubhub delivery fee, depending on where you're at, ranges from $2 to $3. Grubhub's going to raise the delivery fee, which will come out of the restaurant. So the restaurant will raise their prices. Then drivers, they're not going to take deliveries. By the way, if you don't know how Grubhub works, I feel like I have to explain this every time, but probably more people know how Grubhub works than it doesn't. But just in case you don't understand, I think it's $2.50 in Michigan. That's the minimum for a Grubhub offer, no matter how far away or how close it is. You're going to get that, and that's it. Anything else is the tip that the fucking customer gives you. And if Grubhub was being honest, they would call it what it was, which is a bid to get you to pick up their order and bring it to them. Here, I'm willing to pay the $2 handling fee to Grubhub to put me in contact with you, driver, and I'm going to hand you $6.50 because that's where they show that there's a tip and it's at least $6.50. So if you want a guaranteed delivery, it's not going to guarantee it ASAP, but they'll pick it up because they're like, oh, I'm going to make $6.50 minimum off the tip plus the delivery fee. Do the math. That's worth it if you're not expecting them to drive for more than like a couple miles. It's ultimately that bid, the tip, whatever you want to call it, to the driver is going to come out of the people using these services pocket. And the cost at the restaurant will be distributed amongst every customer of the restaurant because the cost will be built into the menu. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. like it does when they raise the labor on the people inside. Like it all goes to the menu price. Like I've been saying for 10 years. All right, yeah, the jobs that are left will have these crazy wages. Like
now, the problem,
I'm not
here's
saying
the problem.
people don't deserve to earn a living wage, but when you start, I feel the UAW did this in the 80s and 90s. When you get the guys just walking in off the streets who want to get paid as much as the executives, like there is, like you got to meet in the middle somewhere.
Well, here's the problem. Any pizza places that use delivery drivers like this, the app deliveries, the drivers are not beholden to the customer nor the company. Ultimately, the driver can just, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And the company is going to end up eating it. Once it becomes the standard that you have to rely on these companies and their drivers, Grubhub is pretty much has an influx of new employment people via people getting driver's license and turning 18 or whatever the fuck, the minimum requirements are. They just have a constant influx of that. So they don't care about employee retention. They don't care about turnover. So what kind of service do you think you're going to get? And how long do you think companies are going to keep eating it in the bottom and in their bottom line because Grubhub doesn't give a fuck? Because I think Grubhub's proven there's no way they can run their company to make a profit and make sure everyone's paid fairly. It's just not a business model that exists.
I think in restaurants, the profit margin's already slim. I think it's always going to be what can increase the bottom line.
I think pizza places going to all Grubhub, unless they are in a very good area for Grubhub or deliver app deliveries, whatever the fuck it is, DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever the fuck. I think that's gonna be an issue. I truly do. I think you're gonna see a lot of places go, no, we're good. We're gonna stick with who we have. Especially if they're a franchise and they're like, we don't really have to do what you tell us to do.
Oh, no, buddy, if it's a franchise, it'll be even worse. You're talking about guys who depend on their bottom line to live.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm not saying any of this in ooh, I got somebody, I proved somebody wrong, ooh, and doing a touchdown dance in their face. I'm saying this is just, I know because I know this industry. I have a lot of experience in this industry.
And I do too on the management side. And I'm saying all the decisions are made based on what grows the bottom line.
Between us, I think we probably have 3 decades of experience, and we're covering pretty much all the bases you can cover outside of ownership. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
And we're both in lockstep in agreement about how this is going to play out, how this is going to affect the pizza industry. So there you go, people. There it is. By the way, you think fucking $6 delivery fees are ridiculous? They're $6 because it's $6.50 to fucking show up on the app delivery fee. If the app delivery fee, if that goes up to where you have to tip more and they raise that, you see what I'm saying? They raise what they show to the driver. Hey, if you take this, you're guaranteed the delivery fee plus the tip, and the tip is guaranteed to be let's say $7.50. You can guarantee your favorite pizza place, their delivery fee is going from $6 to $7.
Well, I was just about to say,
quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And Rich, the point that you just made, the people that do keep those guys around, say hello to a $10 delivery fee. The places that do take it in the ass and pay I'm telling you, and they either better have really good food or an exceptional service, because people start seeing dwindling profit margins, business models get changed real quick.
Well, I can tell you this, and this is, I've noticed this just in the food service industry post-COVID, but it's really been bad in the last year and a half. Prices have gone up, portions have gone down, quality controls went down pretty much with the portions. I tell you people that you're paying more for less. It's mostly across the board. It's been hidden well, but ultimately, yeah, I guarantee you the taco that you're buying from Taco Bell in January 2024, you're not getting the same meat. You're not getting the same cheese. You might be getting the same iceberg shredded lettuce plus some. Yeah, I'm sure they'll deck it out with lettuce because that's something they could fluff it up and fucking make it look like it's full with. But you're not getting any more of the quote-unquote meat and cheese, not for that price. So, and the pizza places I've worked at, I haven't seen, the ones I used to work at, I haven't seen their prices recently. But the last time I looked, about a year ago, I was like, wow, that's a huge jump in price. And then I looked at what they were doing, and I was like, and they're using less toppings They're charging more money, and they're trying to hide it by using these pretty shitty industry tricks that most pizza places have adopted. One of them, what they're going to do is hey, here's a little trick. Hey, here's our deep dish, and it's 8 slices and blah, 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 blah. 8 slices. That used to be 10 slices. There used to be 3 pieces of pepperoni on each slice. Now it's 8 slices. You're lucky if you got, 3 pieces of pepperoni on a slice? You really getting more? You're paying more.
When the cost of producing the goods or service goes up, the price is passed on to the consumer. We were all taught that in 12th grade. Some of us just paid attention, and some of us didn't. That is part of economics 101. So,
and here's the deal. This is not me. Once again, I'm not saying this I'm fucking striking a blow against or for anybody. This is just the reality of me watching it. Okay? Me seeing what's happened in close to 15 years I've had in this fucking industry, all told together. That's not just pizza, by the way. That is restaurant too. I mean, to a much lesser extent, but still dealt with it. Still have years of experience in it. Anyways, it's just, you can't explain this to people. We don't care. All right, we're getting free stuff. Nothing's free, man. Nothing's free.
Hey, you know how Little Caesars has that pizza portal? There is an industry-wide ban on anybody else having it for a minute, but that's going to go away soon. The company that developed it and made it, for the first few years it's out, only Little Caesars can use it, but I think it was after 3 or 5, I think it's 5 years or 7 years, it's game on. And then to me, that's the future. I heard it on the internet. They fucking put it in the box. I go in, scan my thing, get it. Boom. I think that's the future of everything as far as quick serve goes. Not just pizza, all of it. Just walls of those things. And the new jobs are behind the counter stuffing those boxes. And you maybe have one person up front to take cash until those machines can. The technology already exists at the grocery store to put in cash and get change.
You know what? Here's the sad part with this post-COVID obsession with online reviews, with no accountability to the reviewer. Just they have a Yahoo account, they have a Google account. That's a letter, and someone from the company goes online and goes, sorry you didn't have a 5-star experience. Please contact us and blah 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 blah. And most of the time you don't hear back from them. And when you do, you start asking for fucking specifics, and they're not matching up with the numbers for the day that they're claiming shit. So you realize they're just pulling shit out their ass. But you got to take that into consideration. Shit like that, I'm just you're just hastening that fucking wall of automation between the workers and the customers, aren't you? You're just bringing that about quicker with your obsession with fucking this type of shit. Because that's really, once it becomes more fucking cost efficient to do that, that's really where anyone who doesn't want to deal with the bullshit of pissy ass customers and the internet and anonymous slander, that's the route they're going to go. And as someone who works in the industry, I know it's not good for humanity, but you know what? I've been told my entire life, the world don't give a fuck about me. But I'm supposed to give a fuck about the world? I don't care. Build that fucking wall.
Exactly.
Makes my life easier. And it sucks because I look at customers now and I'm just I just want to get you to fuck out. I don't want to sit and talk. I don't want to, because I'm in pain all day because a couple of medical conditions I got. Just the way shit is. Sometimes I make noises that are damn near involuntary until I'm halfway through making them and I realize, oh shit, this person's not going to take that type of sigh as I'm in pain, or I shifted and boy, the relief is nice. They're going to take it as I'm being short and tempered or whatever. And they're going to go online and do it. Fuck all that, dude. Built the wall. Fuck it. Talk to a keypad. That's all I care. Here, there you go. We fuck up, stay on that other side of the fucking wall. Send us a fucking ticket that tells us what to make. We don't. Yeah. I'm down for it. I guess this is me fucking throwing my hands up because I'm I don't see any other way for this besides. I don't see how does this end any other way, man? You already have what we're describing, by the way, in parts of Japan, the major city parts of Japan. This isn't a weird thing. This is something that they've been doing for probably a couple decades now.
We could get into the whole. It's stuff I've been screaming for 10 years, but what do I know? Just the industry I've been in for 20 years, like half of it on one side and half of it on the other. But hey, what do I do? Fuck it. I only got to go behind the curtain and see how it works. I'm a fucking idiot.
Somebody sat through a couple semesters of a course that told them different than all our real world experience. That's all that matters. Once again, teach the test, and I write the test. Job security. Whatever.
Well, all these Pizza Hut drivers, they can become Grubhub and DoorDash drivers, right?
Grubhub and DoorDash drivers who have no fucking rights, no nothing, fucking some shit happens, everything's on them.
Not in California. California's got some crazy law where now they allegedly have rights. They're all on an hourly wage now, and they think it's better.
Well, if they think it's better and people are willing to pay it in California, more power to them in California. That's not going to work in buttfuck Nebraska. I can tell you that right now. So I don't know. I mean, I guess Grubhub and other delivery apps are at the mercy of whatever state or local.
Well, it's the same thing that passed in New York. They got to pay them an hourly. The reason they got to so they can offer them benefits and shit. Which I always thought, well, like if you're an independent contractor, just don't you go to the marketplace? I mean, it's expensive as fuck. I understand it. I was shopping it last year, but isn't that what's supposed to be there for? Isn't that what we've been sold? Trust me, I see all these commercials with all these people like, I'm paying $13 a month. I'm paying, motherfucker. Then you must be poor.
Yeah.
You must make $4,000 a year because everything I applied for was like, nah, you're cool. You want the insurance you're used to? $1,000 a month. Oh, I thought this shit was supposed to be affordable. And then it was like, oh, see if you apply for the credit. Like, nope. Like every fucking time I've applied for a social safety net, you make too much money. Okay.
Here's what they'll tell you.
Where is it?
Here's what they'll tell you. It is affordable because you can afford health care, you can afford a roof over your head, and you can afford to keep going to work to make sure you can afford your health care and a roof over your head and the utilities that go along with the roof over your head and all that shit. So we can get you on that hamster wheel, and it absolutely is affordable. You don't get to live the life you want to live, but it's affordable.
What's funny is my job, like total, me and my job together are paying $600 a month for the same insurance.
I'm just saying, dude, I'm just pointing out it's all relative.
Like it's
what's affordable.
I thought the private people were supposed to be more expensive. I thought daddy government was supposed to be, it's called the Affordable Health Care Act, isn't it?
Or, I mean, it could be,
what's affordable about $1,000 a month for like decent medical coverage?
Okay, so poor people get covered for dirt cheap, and I guess people who are like damn near in, abject poverty. And if you're not smart enough to shop the private market, you get hosed if you do make money. But if you are smart enough to shop the private market, you're going to get better insurance for less money. Is that what you're telling me?
I guess because we're buying it from because it's for a business, we're getting a quote unquote deal or whatever. I don't know, but it's
you're getting put into a pool that with other businesses with the same level of risk. And that pool everybody pays into, and anything that comes out, they balance how much is paid in versus how much they estimate they would have to pay out for average and an act of God accidents, and it's all equated and figured in there and blah, 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 blah. I remember all this for the second when I was like, maybe I should go into insurance sales, and then I was like, no, I want to keep what little soul I have left. Thank you.
Right. Okay, then you have more background on that than me. So then you know where it's coming from. It's like, well, the government's going, well, we got to get our cut since we're getting you, since we're endorsing you to buy insurance, we need our cut so you can be on this website. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, somebody's getting paid because if you can go to the source and buy it for
the
half
same
the price
type
the
of plan.
Yeah,
it's Blue Cross. Shout out, I guess.
Sponsor us.
It's like shouting out a casino. It's like, what? Do you want the house to win? What are you rooting for the house?
Well, yeah, from our agent, like for our business, Same coverage a month is costing us total, like between what I kick in the business kicks, it's $600. Same plan on the marketplace was a fucking $1,000 a month. WTF. Affordable Health Care Act. Or Affordable Care or whatever.
Affordable for
is the
people
first fucking
who
word.
quote unquote need it. Now the problem is that who really needs it? Because once you make past a certain threshold, the price of the insurance goes up exponentially. So if you're basically not making probably under the poverty line by a couple grand, which is where like the line was here in Michigan for a minute there, under Schneider before what's her fucking floppy tits got in there. I don't even care to fucking I did remember her name and I was like trying not to remember her nname. Whitmer. Yeah. Sloppy ass titty Gretchen. But before she got in there when we had the tough nerd Rick Schneider or whatever the fuck his name was in here. Basically to qualify for any state fucking insurance via the Affordable Care Act, you had to make so far underneath the poverty line, it was ridiculous, dude. Like you basically couldn't show any income is what it was.
I'm talking about, I did this last year.
Yeah, but you also, here's the thing. You own shit. You have a credit rating. You blah, blah, blah. This is the opposite of what all that gets you in the real world. You're looking at their insurance and they're going, this ain't for you. Go get the good insurance. You have money. You know how to keep your money, or at least you should. If not, you're dumb enough, pay the full fucking price we're telling you to pay. Isn't this what you say? This is democracy at work? Or not this is capitalism at work. Their only job, because let's call the government what it is, it's basically a publicly funded corporation. Its only job is to justify itself and make a profit.
But they don't.
But they justify themselves.
They run out of
bullshit.
If the United States was like an actual business, it would have been in fucking chapter fucking 11 like fucking years ago.
Okay, but now let's take this into consideration also. Instead of just looking at it from the fucking how far back can I see peering over my shoulder as far as years go by, decades go by, let's look at the fact that everything that we consider normal is an aberration in the economic ebb and flow. And it was all because it was post World War II and the fucking basically the suburbanation, the suburban, you know the word I'm trying to fucking say, and I'm starting to get tired, so I'm starting to mangle my words, of America, and the spread of commercialism, and just everybody buys everything. Every family has a car. Every family has this. Every family has that. Some families have 2 cars. Blah 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 blah. That was never gonna last. It was never gonna fucking last, dude. And so what's gonna happen? The government is going to try to hold on to a bunch of shit and hold on to power, and it's going to fuck itself in the end. And corporations, like I said, once they've sucked what they can out of this country, they will fucking leave. They'll establish their footholds in this country so they can keep collecting their tithes. But that's it. There's no loyalty to America. There's no loyalty to its citizens. There's no loyalty to its government. This is the deal you sign when you put the pen to paper with the devil. So this is why I don't understand you act shocked by this shit. This is what you want. It's what you root for, dude. Every week on this podcast, it's like corporate America, yay. This is the end. This is the end game. So what are you like?
No, because this is the government. Because this is the government getting involved. This is not what I want. This is the government getting their hand in and going, no.
So what do you think would happen if the government wasn't there to do anything with corporations? Do you think corporations would somehow magically on their own overcome the human problem of greed?
No.
And just be like, oh, well, let's just run it so everybody gets a fair wage and we make a fair profit and we don't worry about constant growth and nonsense that.
What problem did the government getting involved with health insurance solve?
The problem it solved from the perspective of people who didn't have health insurance before the Affordable Care Act said that pre-existing conditions can't be turned down, blah, 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 blah. People like that, yeah, it helped. People who were diabetic, who had no other fucking way or means to get any type of insurance could now get insurance, especially if they were insulin dependent. It helped those people, and it helped them at the cost of everybody fucking else, just like it was designed to do. I don't understand why people are upset about that. If you wanted universal health care, this is the cost of universal health care. Taxes go up. Quality of fucking care across the board, unless you're paying out of pocket for private care, goes down. No, it's not universal health care because we're never going to fucking have universal health care because we can't get anybody in one state to agree on anything. Except for California because they got LA and San Francisco, so they run the fucking shit. I guess NYC.
in New York State. But yeah, how many times have we dude, you've traveled enough around the country, you know the cities, blue, suburbs, red. That's pretty much how it goes. Best the suburbs get outside of the Pacific Northwest is purple. And when you get in the plain states, the quote-unquote flyover country, those suburbs are red, and some of those cities got pockets of red too. Pretty big pockets. Am I wrong?
Nope.
The point is that I'm getting at is that everybody wants to act in their own best interest and their own self-interest with no regard to how it fucking ripples out and affects anything or anybody else. Okay, fine. Stop sitting there with the shocked Pikachu fucking face when the fucking consequences of your own fucking actions come back to bite you in the ass. What did you think was going to happen? I just don't understand people. Like, oh my God, I'm shocked. Why? I knew when they were handing money out. We talked about it. This shit's gonna fucking... Do you think... The only hope we have is that corporations actually grow a conscience through this fucking... God, I can't believe I was naive to think that there was even a cunt hair of a chance corporations would grow a conscience during the fucking pandemic. Nope. Record profits. Record profits, dude. Record inflation. Inflation through the roof. Record profits at the same time. Where the guillotines at? I don't even know why we're talking about this. You kidding me? We call that war profiteering in times of war, and we fucking try to throw motherfuckers under the goddamn jail for the shit like that. What the fuck do you call this? We turn a blind eye to it because, well, that's the way the system was designed to work. Sure. Okay. What do you expect? You got the government who ain't on nobody's side but the government's, and you got corporations who are only loyal to the fucking bottom line. And you got the people trapped in the middle between them. This is how you wanted it set up. Why are you upset with the results? I don't understand it, people. Well, it's not exactly how I want it. Oh, well, that's society. We've been in the middle for almost a decade trying to tell you guys to compromise. We've been told to shut up. We're fence sitters. We've had people who've dropped out because we weren't extreme enough for them or we're too extreme for them. I don't care anymore. It's what the fuck everybody wanted. Complete fucking chaos. Everybody got their fucking say and no one can agree on shit. So leave me the fuck alone.
All right, then.
We should have had farts for this part.
Right.
Dude, what else is there to fucking say, man? What demon are you going to serve because you're going to serve one of them? And if not, you fall through the cracks of society. And I tried. Tried for fucking 30-some fucking years, man. And it ain't the 50s anymore. It ain't the Jack Kerouac days. It ain't the Beat Poet days. I can't just throw a fucking knapsack over my shoulder and go travel the road and survive on odd jobs here and there. It ain't that that's not reality anymore. So yeah, dude, I get a little fucking upset because I have to do something that I despise, and I have to become a person I despise to live in a society I don't really want to even have any part in. And then I got people who want the society complaining that it's not to their liking. Oh, I'm sorry, Goldilocks, your porridge ain't fucking just right for you. Why don't you sacrifice who you are as a human being just so you can survive in this fucking world? You gotta lie, you gotta be fake, you gotta play the game, you gotta smile when you hate somebody, you gotta smile to their face and stab them in their back. This is corporate America. This is how you get up the ladder. Pull the plow. Dude, not everyone wants to be that way, but we're forced to. And yeah, it gets old when we're starting to hear people who, this is society how it is. If you're that fucking happy about it, shut up and stop bitching about it. Jesus Christ.
Capitalism isn't just corporate. Capitalism goes beyond that. I mean, the way
I'm not attacking capitalism. I'm attacking corporate mentality of we need constant growth. We can never just sit still. That's not sustainable. It's just rise and fall of fucking empires in a corporate sense instead of a fucking national or political sense. How is that better?
I mean, it's not.
That's not everybody's opinion, though. And I'm tired of people just going, I don't agree. It's better. Defend it. Explain it. Convince me. Sell me. Here's the pen. Sell me that pen.
I don't know people like that. I don't know anyone who's all about, like, corporates, and you always have to, like, corporations always have to grow, and that's a good thing.
It's a 200-year-old economic philosophy you still hear batted around in the right-wing fucking think tank circles. That's not that fucking far out of a fucking idea in those circles. Pretty much everyone else goes, okay, you understand that's not sustainable. Like, oh, yeah, you can do it for a little bit, but eventually someone younger, better, more hungry, willing to sacrifice more comes along and takes the crown off of your head. And that's not what these corporations, that's not what they're fucking trying to do in the end. They're trying to stay on top in perpetuity, and that's impossible. But people won't say that because same reason people won't look at people and go, stop believing in reincarnation and talking snakes. Because it might hurt their fucking feelings or something or shake their worldview. I don't fucking know. I don't even care. Welcome to my fucking TED Talk.
I mean, I am at the right fucking meeting this time. Like, why does no one talk about this shit in the real world? Why do I got to fucking blow a nut on a goddamn podcast that's got 10 listeners?
Well, I mean, talk about it, and it'll get you about as far as talking about elections, and it'll get you as far. Talking about it gets no one anywhere. That's where all the apathy is.
Because most people just go along just to get along.
They keep us. I mean, we are being kept as a society, as people, as not the top 1%. We are so busy and so burnt out just trying to survive. There's no additional energy. Like, additional energy for what? You want me to go do what? You want me to go be mad about something? I'll be sad about it. The sad doesn't take energy, but I can't be mad.
I cannot. I mean, I am like 99.9% sure that people that worked 100, 200, 300 years ago worked the fields and shit for fucking, under some feudalistic system or something. I cannot believe they had more energy than us after a day of work. And we are so tired that we can't even drum up enough to just not be apathetic. I can't believe that, man. I know what the human body's capable of. I know how resilient it is. I know the human spirit is just that resilient. Where has that gone? Why have we devalued it in our society? To what purpose, to what end, to whose benefit? We all know the answers to these questions. To the status quo. There's your boogeyman, people, the status quo. Ultimately, all change comes fucking hard, and it comes usually with blood. Period. End of fucking story. You don't like it? I don't know. Go burn your history books. What do you want me to fucking tell you? I just... But if you have... Sorry, go ahead.
If you get angry, like, I know, you're saying, like, if there was an uprising of people who decided that they were angry about that, it would, like, kind of stoke people into having the energy and pulling out of the apathy. But it's like being mad. It's like if I suddenly decided to get mad because people believe that we landed on the moon. If I decided I was going to be mad about that, but I couldn't get other people also mad about the fact, people were just like, I mean, maybe not, who cares? And I'm like, no, but we didn't. Like, and I got really, like, up in arms about it, right? Like, I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm not doing anything.
Sadly, you need a bunch of idiots to get anything done. And to get idiots, you got to lie to people. You got to lie, you got to manipulate. Sadly, I don't think idiots really got to manipulate. I think being an idiot, easily manipulated, kind of comes along with the package. It's kind of a feature, not a bug type thing. But I mean, like, you also have to be able to manipulate to get, people a little bit above your average, room temperature IQ. That's where manipulation comes in. But yeah, I don't know. I think the excuse is our lives are hard, and it's like, yeah, but not as hard as they were 300 years ago. That was their excuse then. I mean, at a certain point, our lives are hard. We don't have the energy. We don't have the time. We don't have the will to do it. How bad does it got to get before it happens? Because that has been a breaking point in all of history. There are breaking points where they're just like, nope, we're not doing this anymore. We don't give a fuck. I'd rather die fighting for something better than live with what you're giving me.
I think most people who got families and shit are just trying to get through to tomorrow. They're not even thinking that big picture.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the tightrope that we have to walk here in this country. We have to make sure that the average American has at least a fucking realistic shot at keeping their head above water to keep them on the hamster wheel. You don't want, hey, anyone who fucking makes it really big, that's nice, that's great, but you can't count on that. It's like you can't count on it being 75 degrees and sunny 365 days a year if you live in the UP of Michigan. It's just not realistic. Right? But you don't want people all the way at the fucking bottom, especially like when the middle, the majority, which is where you want most people at, start falling into the bottom category. And there's very little upward mobility to offset that. That's the tightrope balance we walk. And that's the reality of the situation. And I'd say it's between corporations, and I mean worldwide global corporations, not even just American fucking housed or, headquartered corporations, and a handful of fucking government agencies. United States, Russia, or government bodies, China. Who else got a lot to say? That's not riding the coattails of one of these fucking countries I just named.
UN?
Yeah, but the UN is completely riding the coattails of the fucking countries I just named. Right. Take the US away. Remember when the UN fucking was like, we're going to sanction fucking the US if they go to war with Iraq, and W was like,
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Wait. And then Dave Chappelle was like, did Black Question was like, you going to sanction the UN with what army? Oh, you mean our army? Sounds like you better shut the fuck up. Go sell some medicine, bitches. So yeah, I mean,
which by the how do you expect to not be seen in powder blue? I've always wondered that. Aren't like military uniforms supposed to like blend into the environment around them?
Don't know. Is that supposed to be like a sign in the faith they have in a united front or a united world, where they don't have to worry about blending in? They can fly such an outlandish color compared to the rest of the uniform that they're not worried about it, like because we're all united. Like, you know what I mean? There has to be some symbolic like, shit, right?
Bitch, we see you.
No, I understand what you're saying, but you got to understand military fucking mindset, military history mindset. Jess has family who spent some time in the military.
Okay, we're going
down
that.
You either buy into it or you don't. And when people that buy into it, they really buy into it.
Okay, we're going down that train of thought. Is powder blue really the color that's going to strike fear into the hearts of your enemies? Like you're being attacked by the fucking Easter Bunny?
First of all, if I'm being attacked by someone with a beret, I've made some horrible choices.
Yeah, right.
Either that or I'm in France, and I don't speak French.
You are somewhere that has allowed itself to be attacked by a beret-wearing army. Yes, you've made a poor choice.
I know that the United States Army wears berets now, but okay, no. Green berets were one thing. Special Forces, one thing. That was a sign that you'd earned something. Now it's just, you look like a bunch of croissant-eating bundles of sticks. Anyways, no, powder blue does not strike fear into the hearts of your enemies. But I'll tell you what, powder blue backed by the fucking full might of the United States military would strike fear into some hearts of some people.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Hey, we're here, but we brought these guys.
Yeah, and I've been to plenty of fucking brawls where it's been like a group shows up and it's like, okay, who showed up in the group? And it's like, no one to worry about. And then like 2 or 3 guys step forward from a little bit deeper in the group. We're like, oh shit. All right, now it's time to worry.
A battalion of Marines comes out and they're all wearing fingers for necklaces.
But no, Jess, yes, I know, but it's just like my irritation with people who are more than happy to just go along with the flow, and in a minute they hit their first fucking bump on the road, they're like, oh, and I'm just sitting there going, are you fucking kidding me? Watching them from the gutter as they fucking drive by, going, you got to be kidding me, right? And by the way, this time I didn't put myself in this gutter. So yeah, I feel some kind of way about that shit. That shit comes off as, you know what? You're fucking tone deaf, idiot. Are you serious right now? You know, and it's like, and this whole, I do not understand this. I do not understand this. If no one cheers the fact that the country's running up debt, why are we cheering corporations making record profits at one of the most horrible times to be a consumer in living memory?
I don't know anyone who is.
Oh, you don't frequent a lot of fucking, like, you know, libertarian type fucking thing, like, oh, this is great, it's wonderful. It's like, really? Okay.
Because Pfizer saved us all from the pandemic, Rich, and they deserve to make that money. I'm trying to put my mind in the head of somebody like that.
Well, I mean, I can tell you the fucking propaganda they're rolling out this winter. I've started to see it on different fucking, like, Google News feed. The 3-headed monster for respiratory illness this winter.
Oh, they're throwing in RSV?
Yep.
I'm sure you've seen Mr. Pfizer in his 2 at once commercials. 2 things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, because I've watched some football recently, and I'm just like, wow, I do not watch commercials anymore, and holy shit, it shows. Because I'm just like, is this aimed for retarded 3-year-olds?
He is in 300. They did a count, 375 commercials this season.
Sure. Okay.
That is a lot of fucking commercials. But yeah, wow. So they've thrown in. You got you're getting the triple shot now, huh? I bet you Pfizer makes all of them.
Yeah, they do.
Crazy.
They do.
You gotta have 3. You gotta get the 3, and the one that doesn't work. And if the third one was been recently developed, I'm highly suspicious of that one. We know at least the flu shot works.
Do you think maybe we need to fucking change what we're upset about and be like, we're not upset that they're fucking raking in money hand over fist and like horrible times, economic times. It's more like I don't know, like
it's how they're doing it.
Like I feel like you just have to do what they did with gay marriage. Gay marriage was, I don't support it. Marriage equality, oh, of course I support that.
Yeah, you got to rebrand it.
That's all you got to do, baby. I just feel like I feel like there needs to be a shift in what people are upset about. And it's like, it's the incompetence. I mean, because like, let's be honest here. Like, if I'm a Disney shareholder to the point where I'm on the phone call with Bob Iger because they took such a fucking hit in the last year that he's on a personal fucking group phone call with shareholders explaining what's going on. I'm just like, I'm mad that you're incompetent, that you're putting out this garbage that it's costing us fucking $250 million to $500 million for each of these fucking flops that don't even come close to making a profit. In fact, they're such fucking tax baths that we can't even take all the tax breaks they give us because there's too many of them that have flopped and made no money. And that's a real thing in Hollywood for the last year, especially with Disney, Marvel, and that whole fucking umbrella of ownership. There's a lot of flops that happen, a lot of flops. So that's what they're mad about. They don't give a fuck about the ideology. And Bob Iger is not on there fucking pushing ideology. He's apologizing for the flops. So maybe that's what people need. Maybe you need to be mad at the incompetence of the government. Wait a minute. Why do I still have to get a goddamn shot every fucking, 3-4 months, is it? Isn't that what they're basically claiming at this point? Allegedly. 3 to 4 times a year that you need to get a shot or a booster?
You keep hearing, this new one will get the new variant. That's like it's a fucking Apple app and they keep updating it.
Well, we've been conditioned to be consumers like that. That's how we're delivered our technology and our updates and shit now.
Like, we need to stop. You know, they need to rebrand the big lie, right? They keep calling the big lie the 2020 election. No, they brand the big lie the fucking vaccines because they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, I think the big lie is very simply, you want to survive COVID or increase your chances of surviving COVID. Don't be morbidly obese, diabetic, and out of control fucking blood pressure, out of control fucking health, just all around. Because I had it when I had once. I was living life like that, and then I had it when I was living life a little bit better. And oh boy, it was night and day how long it took me out and how bad it was.
Stop. Well, they did, but stop. They were showing us pictures of obese people. Like, perfectly healthy person just died. Like, really? Last time I checked, looks like that person ain't missing any meals. At least just pick a couple vegetables and maybe hit the treadmill. But sure, perfectly healthy. Why not? Speaking of another big lie, but anyway, we did that one already.
Sorry, I didn't realize I'm on the show with a bunch of fat-phobic bigots. Wow.
I just maintain this. Enjoy your 20s, you plus size women, and no one celebrates plus size men. You're just fat. So sorry, you're just fat, dude. But you plus size women who are enjoying your Yas Queen size and all this other bullshit, whatever the fucking terminology is. Enjoy it in your 20s because in your 30s, your body will start to break down from it. And by the way, it's insidious. You're not going to notice it all at once. You're just going to notice it when it's too late to do anything about it in most cases. And then it starts getting worse.
And by the way, Jess, you're speaking to two former fat fucks who realized, eat
I'm
less,
still fat.
Move more. No shit. That shit works.
I'm still fat.
Dude, you lost. We discussed this a couple weeks ago. You lost me. You have effectively lost me. Like at my current weight. Like that is impressive. Like you essentially were walking around with me on your back the whole fucking time.
Yeah, well, that's what I try to tell people. Some of the toughest people you've ever fucking met and you didn't know it were fat motherfuckers. Because once you think about carrying that weight around and type of fucking like, dude, no bullshit. Yeah, I got fucking fat and loose skin and shit from losing weight over my gut. But dude, my stomach muscles, they didn't really go anywhere. Like they came back really quick. And I'm shocked because, dude, it's solid as a rock underneath that fucking little bit of fucking padding of fat. And I'm just like, Yeah. That's the only way I was carrying around all that weight, dude. My body should have collapsed in on itself.
Bill Burr said it. You ate your way in, you can walk your way out.
It truly, I'm gonna be honest with you, this is something that I never fucking believed until a year and a half ago. Because that's when it really ramped up as far as the fucking weight loss.
Or maybe Rich's because drank your way in. But, you got your way in somehow.
Yeah. That's what really bothers my fat friends. Because they're like, dude, it's not like you ate your way into this. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. I drank my way in. I know. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a true fat person. I'm only a quarter fat. But, shit, I forgot where I was going. What was I saying?
Yeah, like the Elizabeth Warren of fat people.
An imposter.
Trump fans will love that joke.
I forgot. There you go. Whatever. I don't even remember what the fuck I was trying to get at. Time to end the show. Unless you guys got a bunch of fucking funny shit on deck. If I'm forgetting fucking where I was going with a point and you guys are just dead fucking silence, you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, we probably about 30 minutes past signing off.
In my defense, I was in the middle of a yawn, which only furthers your point. So, at Gen Exhausted Pod on social media, ChristopherMedia.net contains the PayPal button, or if you'd like to help us out, we'd appreciate it. And wherever you listen to the show, if you are allowed to rate and review us, please do, because it helps other people find the show. Please and thank you. We appreciate you listening. Welcome to the new year, and see you next week.
See ya.
So this is the new year. I don't feel any different. The clanking of crystal, explosions off in the distance. In the distance. So this is the new year. I have no resolution. It's self-assigned panic. The problems with easy solution. So everybody put your best suit or dress on. Let's make believe that we are wealthy for just this once. Lighting firecrackers off on the front lawn as 30 dialogues bleed into one. I wish the world was flat like the old days, and I could travel just by folding a map. No more airplanes or speed trains or freeways. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. There'd be no distance that could hold us back. So this is the new year. So this is the new year. So this is the new year. So this is the new year.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.